The ruling All Progressives Congress, the APC, has finally put to rest questions over the procedure to be adopted by the party in selecting its candidates for the 2019 general elections. The party has approved the use of direct primary to choose its presidential candidate. The party adopted this position during its National Executive Committee meeting in Abuja. Our correspondent, Linda Akigbe, has more.
Members of the ruling All Progressives Congress APC arriving for a crucial National Executive Committee meeting at the party secretariat in Abuja. This meeting is expected to, among other decisions, take a position on the method for its primaries to select candidates for the 2019 general elections. While the party chairman, Adams Oshomole, has in the past thrown his support behind direct primaries, some governors appear to be in favor of indirect primaries. But President Buhari wants the primaries to be free and fair, regardless of the procedure adopted.
Our primaries must be in complete compliance with the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, the Electoral Act, and above all, the Constitution of our great party, the APC.
This NEC meeting is also coming more than a month after some legislators in the National Assembly defected to other political parties. But the APC chairman maintained he is not losing sleep over this.
If some individuals of no particular political address decide to leave, I will not miss my sleep.
The NEC meeting enters into a closed-door session for members to discuss matters affecting the party. The closed-door session ends, and the governors of Kogi and Plateau states brief journalists on the position of the party as regards the method adopted for its primaries and the issue of automatic tickets for members.
For the presidential election, we all agree that we will adopt a direct primaries for the presidential election. But also a resolution recommendation was made by the National Working Committee, which was accepted, that all other states should adopt the indirect mode of election. But there may be circumstances where it may be difficult also in some of the states, looking at their peculiarities. But if there are those difficulties, the states will now apply following the process in their stakeholders, through their stakeholders, outlining the reasons, and then sign and adopted by a simple majority of the party. But we discussed that yes, patriotic and loyal members should be rewarded, but not necessarily with automatic tickets. Whereas
Governor Lalong also disclosed that the National Executive Committee has mandated the party's National Working Committee to review the cost of nomination forms for elective positions and come out with reasonable figures. Linda Akigbe, Channels Television News.
Meanwhile, the president will tomorrow depart for Beijing, the Chinese capital, where he will participate in the 7th summit of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, FOCAC, scheduled to hold from September 3rd to 4th, 2018. According to a statement from the presidency, President Muhammadu Buhari's itinerary includes an interactive session with the Nigerian community in China at the country's embassy. In his capacity as the current chair of ECOWAS, the president is expected to deliver remarks at the high-level dialogue between Chinese and African leaders, business representatives and entrepreneurs. President Buhari will be accompanied by his wife, Aisha, who is scheduled to participate in a spouses program on China-Africa, as well as the governors of Bauchi, Lagos, Jigawa and Imo states. Several senators and ministers are also on the president's entourage. The list of those eyeing the nation's #1 seat has continued to rise, the latest entrant in the race being the Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki. Dr. Saraki formally announced his intention in Abuja, the nation's capital, at an event of young Nigerians tagged a dialogue with youth and young aspirants. He told the young people at the event that Nigerians need a purposeful leader who will help resolve some of her challenges.
As young people in the party, The Ladi Kwali Hall in Sheraton Hotel Abuja is filled to capacity with conveners of the Not Too Young to Run movement as well as leaders of political parties. The event all started like the usual engagement between the Not Too Young to Run movement and the political parties. Just as the convener of the movement tasked the PDP to open up the political space for young people to participate in the forthcoming general elections.
I think that the People's Democratic Party has a responsibility to not only operationalize the Not Too Young to Run, but seize the space and the opportunity you have to ensure that you take intentional steps to give young people who have capacity, who have competence, and who have character to actually run for office.
In their separate remarks, both the national chairman of the PDP and the deputy Senate president highlight the importance of youth participation in politics.
If you can vote, you should also be able to be voted for. If you can vote, if the age limit for voting is 18 years, once you're 18, you're also capable of being voted for. I would like PDP to commit to themselves to this.
In PDP, we will create more opportunities for the appointment of youth in strategic positions.
Presidency, the President of the Senate.
When it is time for the Senate President to speak, amid cheers from his supporters, Senator Bukola Saraki declares his intention to contest the 2019 presidential election on the platform of the PDP.
I have decided to answer the call of TVU. The TVU will ask me to run for president. I hereby announce my intention to run for the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria following the elections of 2019 on the platform of the People's Democratic Party.
He also speaks about some of his plans if elected president in 2019.
My plan for Nigeria has inclusion in all aspects of country's affairs as a central pillar. Every citizen has the inherent right to feel a sense of belonging.
There are already no fewer than 12 presidential aspirants who have declared their intention to contest the 2019 presidential election on the platform of the PDP. This no doubt leaves the PDP with a huge task of selecting a presidential candidate for the 2019 elections.
Meanwhile, the hashtag Not Too Young to Run movement has disowned the Senate President's declaration to run for the Nigerian presidency on the platform of the opposition People's Democratic Party. In a statement, the group expresses shock and disappointment that Dr. Saraki would usurp a platform for youth engagements with political parties to declare his candidacy without any prior discussion or permission from the organizers of the event. The hashtag Not Too Young to Run movement distances itself from every statement made during Saraki's declaration speech and his candidacy. It maintains its stated position as a non-partisan, citizen-led movement for democracy and transformational leadership. More on political alliances, and Mr. Fela Durotoye of the Alliance for New Nigeria has been chosen as the consensus presidential candidate in an election conducted by a coalition of political parties in Abuja, Nigeria's capital city. A group of 13 presidential aspirants from parties including the Alliance for New Nigeria, Young Progressives Party and the All Progressives Congress formed the coalition called Presidential Aspirants Coming Together, PACT. They came together with a view to choosing one candidate that will all support during the 2019 presidential elections.
13 presidential aspirants from different political parties, including the Alliance for New Nigeria, the All Progressives Congress, and the Young Progressive Party, gather in this hall to elect a consensus presidential candidate under the supervision of the former Minister of Education and convener of the Red Card Movement, Mrs. Obi Ezekwesili. This gathering is the aftermath of a series of consultative meetings by the aspirants on the best strategy to defeat President Buhari in 2019.
We have come to understand that it is better if we go in with a narrower base of choice so that we can actually win. We can have all the ideals we like, but we're in this to win.
We are all dropping our personal ambition, and we are saying we are going to, create a third force that will push this present government out of office. That we cannot continue this way again, and that we have to change the status quo.
After the remarks by the aspirants, the former Minister of Education, Mrs. Obi Ezekwesili, and all the 13 aspirants go into a closed-door meeting to elect their consensus candidate. Some moments later, 10 out of the 13 aspirants return to the hall. Journalists are invited in, and Mr. Fela Durotoye is announced as the consensus candidate.
I must tell you that this is quite a noble venture that you've all decided to pursue. And so, in furtherance of my determination that the old must give way to the new, I have decided to come and to observe your process and to say exactly what I said. God bless you all. Thank you very much.
We've spent the last part of at least a year and a half convincing Nigerians on the need to go and get involved with the process. And so my next call to everyone is, now it is time for us to come up with every single idea that can solve the problems of Nigeria.
Although the objective of this alliance among the presidential aspirants is to form a common front against incumbent President Buhari and other contestants in the 2019 general election, the fact that only 11 out of the 13 aspirants signed the agreement should no doubt raise some concerns for members of this group.